YouTube. And building AC Sports Live on the 20th day of August. This is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you'll be alerted whenever I go live. Share the show, man. Facebook Live. Go ahead and share and like. I would appreciate the Vine. We are on Twitch, the X, LinkedIn. I appreciate all the love and support here on the AC Sports Live show. Tonight's show should be quick and dirty. Getting right to the nitty gritty. Some of the post-Olympic conversations are pretty intriguing. Off the top, I'm sure you've all heard Tyreek Hill was challenged Noah Lyles. Justin Gatlin wants a piece. The Sixers have high hopes for the LeBron killer from the Olympics. Jason Tatum, is he done with Team USA or no? Storm Inc. major threat in the WNBA from the Olympic performance. Jordan Childs keeps her bronze. Talk about that. And the flag football national team does not want the NFL players to come and take their jobs. Talk about that. Coach Cobbs Corner, mental reps, and sprint to the comments, volume 4. This is AC Sports Live. Let's get it.
He ain't never slumber, never put him to the test. He be reigning king forever, resurrected after death. All praise to God, brother, say it with your chest. Say it with your chest, all praise to the one.
Yes, sir. All right, let's get in. Good evening, everybody. Rubio's in here. Showtime. Tyreek Hill, the man with 1,000 kids, wants some. Get you some. He wants some of that. He wants all of that. And Noah Lyles says he's all for it. Board of Health, Dr. Leon Frazier in here. What's going on, brother? So you think about NFL's fastest man, the world's fastest man. You got Tyreek Hill, who is arguably the fastest man in the NFL, on the field and in the bed, because he has, 10 kids? Only dad joke that'll be told this evening. Noah Lyles, who is a glutton for the spotlight, even to his own detriment, with his comments about world champs and not going to Ant-Man's shoe release party. This is set up for Donovan Bailey versus Michael Johnson type hype. Tyreek Hill versus Noah Lyles. The distance will be important. This is great for Noah Lyles because as an Olympic athlete, your time to shine is limited. Tyreek Hill, his time is coming. The Miami Dolphins are in the mix. They're a really good team. And if he touches the football, they have a really good shot of putting some points up. Tyreek is just chasing clout. I don't know if he's chasing clout. He's creating a buzz. I think Tyreek Hill is a brand. I don't think he needs Noah Lyles per se. I think Tyreek Hill may not be global, but in the States, he has a nickname. He's the Cheetah. He's known for his speed. But Noah Lyles says the man dodges smoke. I don't have time for that. I'm not talking about you just talking on the internet and you ain't actually coming to me and talking to my agent and saying, let's set something up. If you're seriously about it, you'll see me on the track. Noah Lyles on racing Tyreek Hill. Now, it will be a spectacle for a little bit. My sweet, sweet brother Noomsy is back. He has forgiven me. He has come back to the AC Sports Live show. The Time Is Now podcast host, Michael C. Stafford, Jr. the third is in the building. This will be a smoke fest. Like, depending on the distance. I've seen Tyreek Hill run track. He is a monster out of the blocks. But this was in college. This is 5 to 7 years ago. How many years has Tyreek Hill been in the NFL? And all the bumps and bruises and injuries that he's had. Just go back to watch DK Metcalf run the 100 meters. If we're talking about 100 meters, do we know the difference between a 10.2 and a 9.7? I don't think Tyreek remembers how full bore you have to run a 10.2. Even if he trained for 2 months, I don't think Tyreek Hill breaks 10 seconds. It's almost disrespectful for Tyreek Hill to say he will beat Noah Lyles in a race, unless they're talking about a race under 60 meters. That's the distance that I would say he has a chance, 50 yards. Because Noah Lyles' strength is not the blocks. He always comes from behind to win. And then when he's not at full strength, he can't finish the race and win, as we saw in the 200 meters. He got a little bit winded at the end, says it's COVID. I believe him, but you still was up partying and acting crazy before the race. So that's some of your energy going right there. But for this one right here, I got money in Tyreek Hill in the 50. But the 60, I seen Noah Lyles pull out a win in the 60. He has a finishing gear that nobody else has. The difference between college speed and Olympic medal speed, I don't think Tyreek Hill understands. So anything past 50, no chance whatsoever. 40 to 50 meters, Tyreek Hill has a chance, because at that point it's just about explosion. And nobody's more explosive than Tyreek Hill in the NFL. You put DK Metcalf in that race, you put Justin Gatlin in that race, you talking about some money for charity, I think they can raise some money. Mike says, I'm coming to you all in a complete stoppage of the 215 freeway, praying for all those in the wreckage. Oh my goodness, 4 fire engines, 6 EMTs. I think a motorcyclist was involved, cars, big rig. Oh man, that sounds terrible. Well, in the name of Yeshua, I pray all those people will be safe. Those who have not been recovered and might not be with us, we're praying for the aftermath, for the people to have some peace and some comfort. And it sounds pretty bad if it's a complete stoppage. It sounds like that lithium battery fire on the 15 freeway a couple weeks ago. Tragic, where they had to let the fire truck had to let the semi truck burn out before the freeway was cleared up. So glad you're able to tune in, sweet brother Noomsy. I'm glad you're safe. Glad you're not in the mix, but you're far away and you know what's happening. Glad you're not in an electric vehicle. Otherwise, your electric vehicle would have been dead, like the young folks driving the Teslas going to Vegas, and they had to deal with that lithium fire truck, the lithium fire accident last month. But yeah, so Tyreek has a chance in the shorter distance, but in the 100, no chance at all. 9.7 and 10.2 are not the same. Even if Tyreek ran his personal best 10.1, 9.99 is still 2 strides behind 9.7. Arrested Noah Lyles runs a 9.7. So I don't think that's going to be a race. Other post-Olympic news. Remember that guy who banged on LeBron in the Olympics? Let's see if I have the footage.
Gold medal game
Yabusele. That's his name.
The gold medal game. Yabusele. Oh!
That's who my 76ers have picked up to battle any bullies that come to Philly. His name is Garshon. Garshon Yabusele is a serious talks. That's a done deal. Get it done. Elton Brand and Morey. Yabusele is resolving his $2.5 million contract buyout with Real Madrid as he nears his NBA return. You got to get the big fella, man. We need somebody that's going to bully while Embiid goes away and plays soft in the playoffs. Yabusele had no regard for human life under that basket in the Olympics. If he can bring that toughness, this is what the Sixers are missing. Nick Nurse, sick 'em on the East. Hit the Celtics while there's some uncertainty, while Jason Tatum is butthurt. Even though Jason Tatum might come back with a fist of fury from getting sat in the Olympics. Speaking of Jason Tatum, Sweet Brother Noopsy says, I was thinking of that, having an electric car. It's still 90 degrees out here in Menifee. Oh, yeah, man. It was all bad. I believe all the cars that were electric during the lithium battery fire, all those cars died. And they had to wait for somebody to come with some generators to charge those cars up. I mean, it had to be the worst. When your battery runs out in a Tesla and you don't have air conditioning anymore, terrible. Yeah, Yabusele and the Sixers have him coming off the bench. Yeah, just coming to the bench. We just need somebody to come off the bench that's going to put some fear in somebody. Like if you come to the key, you're getting knocked down. That's what I want to see, Dr. Frazier. I want to see some elbows in the key. We need an enforcer. Every team needs an enforcer. Embiid is big and strong and mean looking, but he's not a force in the playoffs. Something is missing. And I'm hearing a lot of NBA players saying us getting Paul George just makes us softer. Skilled, but soft. We need an enforcer. And if he can be that, great. He used to play for Boston. He probably didn't play very much because this was probably the first time I've ever seen him really play like that. Did he play like that? He played like Grant Williams from the Celtics a couple years ago. So Philly wants that smoke from the Celtics. We were a couple players away, and you play a tough brand of ball, you have a shot. It's a contact sport, man. You think Draymond Green gets in the Hall of Fame because he's skilled? It's because he's an enforcer, and that can not mess the game up. He can make a shot once in a while, make a layup once in a while, make a good pass, and cover Steph's hind parts when it's time to fight, even though he only picks fights with guys he can beat. So I'm pretty happy about that. Now, Jason Tatum, this meme made me laugh. If this was AAU, his mom would have pulled him off the team. Jason Tatum has all rights to be upset. If I'm Tatum, you could have spared me the embarrassment. If you ain't gonna play me, why you bring me to the team? His kid's gonna ask. His kid's gonna say something like, "Dad, you're just like me. You only play every so often. You play every other game. Hey, Dad, we're the same. I don't get playing time either. And I still got a trophy just like you. You don't even have to play. Just be on the team." Jason Tatum, man, one of the best players in the world. 2 games out of 6 didn't get any playing time. But he said he's still going to play on Team USA moving forward. And this does not affect his decision to play in the national team in the future. So you imagine this team without LeBron, without Steph Curry, without possibly AD, because AD's getting long in the tooth as well. And him being tender love, OG tender love, if his body holds up, they're going to need AD in 2028. It's going to be a bunch of young bulls with no leadership skills. If they don't bring Jaylen Brown, and you waiting on Devin Booker and Jason Tatum to lead against some highly skilled pros, Serbia, France, Canada, all these places that have all these ballers, I think the USA team gonna come home with bronze. They're gonna have to call OG LeBron to come help lead that team. They might just let LeBron coach the team, player coach that team. That might be the only way this works out. Because right now it looks like a gold. It looks like a bronze medal team. You ask me. They don't look very intimidating, man. Mike said, Whoa, they feel softer than with PG-13. Didn't y'all lose old boy with the bad contract? If we're counting on Paul George to put us over the top, Paul George is known for having great regular seasons and getting to the postseason or close to it and not being that guy. Going away. I would almost want Kawhi Leonard more than I would want Paul George. Kawhi Leonard may not play 50 games, but if I had Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs, at least I know what I'm going to get. He's either going to play or he's going to get injured. But if he plays, we're winning the championship. But he hasn't finished the season and probably since the championship season they had in Toronto. So I think his career is pretty much on the downward spiral. I bought a Kawhi Leonard action figure last week. I was buying some quick cheap clothes at Marshall's. And you know how Marshall's has designer clothes for less. And you go in there and you rummage through and you find some good stuff. I'm in line to purchase my little outfits. And then I see a display case of some action figures. And they're all blue with a black man in cornrows. And it said Clippers #2. And I'm like, okay, who is? And I looked and said, #2 is Kawhi Leonard. So I turned it around. In the back of his jersey was Kawhi Leonard. And there was like 50 of them. And they were all marked different prices. One was 30 cents. One was 50 cents. One was $1. And I was like, what is going on with the Kawhi Leonard action figures? And they were like, markdowns. So I grabbed a 30-cent Kawhi Leonard and I put it in my classroom. I'm still a fan, Kawhi. I just need you to play. Can I get you to play? My knee hurts too. And if I can go play basketball, I will. With a hurt knee. Come on, man. Play. Get you a season in, man. Dr. Frazier said, gotta help the Lakers before thinking about the Olympics in 2028. Talking about AD. I don't know if AD has leadership quality to lead the Lakers. He's still counting on LeBron to lead the Lakers. So I think LeBron and AD in the bubble was prime AD and Bron. You had the perfect mix of role players with Rondo and Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee and Caruso, and you let those guys go, and then you change the whole dynamic of the team, the toughness of the team. Not that LeBron's not tough and AD's not tough. That's just not their thing. They're like Gretzky in hockey. They're skilled. They're not goons. They need some goons. They're signing a bunch of finesse dudes, big men that shoot threes, and with SpongeBob and Sideshow Bob hair. These dudes ain't gonna cut it, man. So Jason Tatum and Team USA 2028. I don't know. The Storm re-signed Gabby Williams after her performance in the Olympics. She's back on the map. If you want your daughter to be successful in athletics, name her Gabby. How many Gabbies, Gabrielles aren't ballers or tremendous athletes? Gabby Douglas, Gabby Williams. You got a good chance of your daughter being a stud basketball player, track athlete, gymnast, Gabby Thomas, 200-meter world champion, gold medal champion, Harvard graduate, Gabby. Yeah, let's name our daughter Gabby. Congratulations to Gabby Williams from France, who's playing on a second stint. I believe she had a concussion before. I'm not sure if they let her go during that, but that's janky if they did. I hope that's not the case. Flag football 2028. So apparently there's some rumblings already from the flag football team. We just don't think they're going to be able to walk on the field and make the Olympic team because of the name, right? USA flag football quarterback Darrell Hoosh. Is it Doggett? I can't see that. My eyes are getting bad. Bruh. On NFL players playing in the Olympics. Bruh. Come on, man. Come on, man. I think it's disrespectful that they just automatically assume that they're able to just join the Olympic team because of the person that they are. They didn't help grow this game to get to the Olympics. Give the guys who helped this game get to where it's at their respect. Very strong statement. Daryl Dossett. They didn't help grow this game. I think you can look at that a few ways. Football is the most, if not the most, popular sport in America. So popular that other countries play it, but suck at it. Team USA tackle football was atrocious. They use a bunch of 19, 20, and 21-year-olds, a few 24-year-olds, and they were getting beat by other countries in the game that originated here in pads, shoulder pads. Flag football is simply what we played before you put the pads on. So disrespectful to assume. You ask any hardworking American, do you want Daryl Dossett or Jalen Hurts to quarterback your team in the Olympics in 2028? 95%. The 5% that choose Daryl Dossett will be his family and friends. I played flag football after I played in the NFL. My first game at high level competitive flag football with referees and travel teams and guys traveling from Vegas and San Diego, I had 3 picks and 4 touchdowns. It was too easy. And I'm not even great. But I tell you, I was covering so much ground. I was so much more athletic than anybody out there. Now, I know that Team USA team has probably got some studs on it, but there's a reason why they're not in the NFL. You put Jalen Ramsey, you put Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson at receiver. You put Pat Surtain Jr. You put all these skilled guys that are flat out ball hawks against some average Joes. It wouldn't even be fair. Now, it would be messed up if the NFL players came and took over the team. I know kind of where he's coming from. Growing the game, or the guys who actually are playing it overseas or playing it internationally and domestically, they are putting in the work. I would say we have two teams, A and B team. The guys who play for real flag football versus the NFL team, they have a showdown. They have a qualifier game. Whoever wins represents the country. I think this comes from the idea that he knows what would happen if 15 guys, 20 guys from the NFL decide to play flag football in the Olympics. It wouldn't even be close. It would be a flat-out blowout. I'll take that back. It might be a little bit. It might be competitive. It might be fun. Them guys will play with a chip on their shoulder. I'll give them that much. They probably play pretty well, but you know what happens when you don't send pros to these events? We get beat. Look at men's 3-on-3 in the Olympics. Look at football, tackle football in the Olympics. It wasn't the Olympics. It was pre-Olympics, so I think it's just called World Championships. We didn't send our best. We sent some kids, and you get whooped. We don't send our best to the Olympics in basketball next Olympics. We're going to lose. If we just send the Nike Select, and you don't send the best of the best, guys are opting out, you're going to see a loss. So this right here, I feel him. The disrespect, no, he's just going to be like, man, it's messed up. These guys weren't playing. They just come over and take our spots. Yeah, that's what the Dream Team did for basketball. When all the college kids had dreams of playing in the Olympics, and you kept losing, not even medaling, not getting a medal. Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan and Larry Bird said, hey, call up Chris Mullin, call up all the big homies, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, Stockton, call them all. David Robinson, call all of them. We're going to go and get this gold. That's what's going to happen right here. So don't get your panties in a bunch. The best of the best will be in the Olympics. If you ain't the best, then you don't need to be there. Don't be sensitive about it, man. It's reality. All right, so Jordan Childs gets to keep her bronze medal. However, she has to share it. So the story is the Romanian Federation of Gymnastics proceeded with awarding Barbasou in a special ceremony. The organization publicly stressed that their appeal to the decision was never done with the intention to strip Childs of the medal she earned. In their resolution, they requested that both Barbasou and Childs share a bronze medal due to the error in judging, and reported that USA Gymnastics agreed. So good for Jordan Childs not giving it up. If someone came to our house trying to confiscate the bronze medal, again, last week I said you would have to find my medal. I can't find it. Well, apparently they're going to allow them to share the bronze medal, which is still kind of a crock if you ask me, because Jordan Childs beat her by 0.007 points because of difficulty of routine. But she reported it, according to the timestamp, 4 seconds too late. But she beat her, if you're not counting seconds on an appeal. So, spilled milk, water under the bridge. Jordan Childs gets to keep her bronze medal. Black girl magic on the podium. It is what it is. Sprinting through, getting through the show pretty quickly. Coach Cobbs Corner. Parents, let's have realistic expectations. All right, so I saw an awesome video of a mom training her son in football in her work clothes. This is dedication. She is teaching him how to use his hands versus an opponent as a D lineman. To defeat hands, she's teaching him how to run routes. She's giving him high fives. All this in her work clothes. So as soon as she comes home, and you probably say, well, why is she not changing her clothes? She probably just getting home from work and she knows if she go in the house, she's not coming back outside. So as soon as she comes home, she is in the yard with her boy, working with him on cones. Okay, so the topic is realistic expectations. Shout out to this mom. She's the real MVP. And this is not about whether her technique is right or wrong. The fact that she is instilling skill and confidence in her son is going to go a long way. Now, the expectations of that mom for her son, I want to say, are probably on point. That she knows if she don't get out here and get her son active and confident and to instill some belief in him, that he's not going to be even a high school player, let alone a college player or NFL player. So to parents, as I've coached and as I've parented a Division I player, I've always looked at it as objectively as possible. I recognize that 1% of student athletes go pro. I recognize that 3% of high performing student athletes get Division I scholarships, and 7 or 8% get Division II. So you're talking about a very small percentage. So in order to keep your sanity as parents, let's make sure our kids enjoy the sport. That we won't allow our kids to have an expectation on their head and shoulders that they can't carry because our parents are unrealistic. I see parents at basketball gyms and football practice with their lounge chairs, sitting out, watching, coaching from the sideline. Let little Timmy play. Let him get coached up. Let him lose. Let him get embarrassed a little bit in the drills. Let him figure out what wins and losses feel like, and not put it on the pressure on him that you're not getting enough playing time, or I don't like this AAU team. Your coach doesn't play you enough or let you shoot the ball, so I'm going to pull you off this team. If you don't get shots up, then you're not going to be able to make it. The turning point for me was the Bigfoot Classic in my son's junior year of high school. And we went to Las Vegas, travel ball team. Shout out to Coach Price and the Carson Lightning. Real good team, good kids, well coached. And my son's playing, he's a role player, having a good time. We're traveling. He enjoyed his time, but it still wasn't his thing. But we weren't tripping. We went to support. But the number of parents who were stressed out because their child was not getting looked at by scouts. Scouts walking around from court to court, because the Bigfoot Classic, you have maybe 30 games going on at the same time. It's the biggest event I've ever seen as far as AAU basketball at one venue. 30 might be generous, but it was a lot of courts going on at the same time. Really big convention center full of basketball courts built on wooden stakes on top of metal concrete blocks. But a lot of games from 7U to 18U. All over the place. Scouts everywhere. Kids playing all stressed out because this is their chance to shine in front of a scout. And these parents, man, it was kind of my wife and I just looking around like we don't have that kind of pressure. Whatever Yahweh's will is for our kids' life is going to be. And as long as he's not depressed and discouraged We're going to support it and let it happen as it happens. So my encouragement to parents, have realistic expectations. You know if your son don't have it. You know if your daughter does not have it. Especially if you played a sport. You know what it takes to get discovered. You know what it takes to get that scout to go back to his head coach and say, I saw a kid. So don't put yourself in a situation that's not realistic. That just causes stress. That just causes kind of like a toxic environment at the house and the drive home. You got your son in the back seat and he didn't get no playing time and you're mad. Realistic expectations, man. Take the pressure off. And remember, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun. Going to the comments, Leon said Lakers have to quit listening to Rambis. Is Rambis the problem? It's Rob Pelinka. Nick Sanchez, what's up, boy? You think NFL owners letting them play, though? Olympic basketball is like intertwined with the NBA. I like a lot of guys have it in their contract that they can do what they want to do. So similar to basketball, you can't get better if you don't play. And some guys want a gold medal. So some owners will have a rift, but some owners are going to welcome it because that's worldwide recognition. So if your quarterback is playing for the flag football team, for Team USA, that's jersey sales, that's worldwide recognition. So owners are about money. Some owners will be concerned, Nick. Some owners will be like, yo, you don't need to be playing in no flag football. Now, for the receivers and DBs, it probably is going to be a little bit more concerning because you don't want to lose your franchise player. But even the second option guys are going to be ballers. Even the guys who aren't as needed, like Brandon Ayuk for the 49ers. He wants a full receiver one contract, making $35 million a year to be one of the highest paid. I don't see Brandon Ayuk like that. I see Brandon Ayuk as a number one receiver on the team that doesn't need their wide receivers as much. He's a good third option. CMC, George Kittle are the number one options in that offense. So I don't think they would stop Brandon Ayuk from playing in the Olympics. I don't think the Eagles will stop Devontae Smith playing in the Olympics. I don't think the Buffalo Bills would stop, what's the young man's name that bought them jackets? Keon Coleman. They're not going to stop him from playing in the Olympics to get a gold medal. If you got a fragile superstar, then you probably say, nah, we don't want you playing. Frazier said, not close for any other country against our pro football players. None. Not even close. Not even close. I got the Motor City Lions kneecap biting. What's up, my man? What's going on, Big Jeremy? Jury Childs earned that. Congratulations. Yes, she did. She had the points. She scored. The OC is as soft as some sports fans, like melted popcorn butter. That's pretty soft, man. I got the stat man in here, Jimmy Mack. Mac, school is back and I'm tired. Can you see it? Can you see it? A great parent getting in with their son in her work clothes. Because if she go in the house and take off her bra, it's over with. She's down for the count. When you're a mother training him, we need the fathers and male figures to help. I didn't even go there. Where's dad? I was brought up in a single mom, stepdad situation. I don't even ask where dad is. I already know. He's in a few places. And it's never pleasant to talk about. But apparently there's no dad. He's either estranged from the mom, they're not getting along, so she's figured I'm gonna do it myself. He may be no longer with us. He might not be alive. He might be gone. Or he could be away. Similar to my father, off and on, in prison. So, dad's not around for whatever reason. This is a positive video. Mom is doing what she had to do. Maybe she can't afford a trainer. Maybe she can't afford to get anybody to work with him, but she's doing the best she can. Rubio said bad parents have ruined more athletes than bad coaches. Man, Rubio, I've seen kids who deserve scholarship not get a scholarship because parents were pills. Nobody wants to deal with a parent that is not realistic. Just go back and watch the Marshawn Lynch video of the young kid who was not participating properly, messing up the drill. So Marshawn Lynch gave him a little bit of reality. And mom didn't like how it sounded, so mom wants to have a problem with Marshawn Lynch. And he said, you brought your son to my camp, and I get after kids. So mom, kick rocks. Max said social media and bragging has made youth sports high stakes because the parents want to pay themselves on the back or pat themselves on the back for success of their kids in athletics. Social media, man. Because what do people post? The good stuff. You never see the bad stuff. We saw one time LeBron James had to console Bryce because Bryce thought he didn't have a good game because he only had a couple points, but he had a major effect on the game. It's one of the best videos I've seen. LeBron saying, man, you did your thing. You did this, you did that. It's not about scoring all the time. And guess what? Bryce James looks like a better prospect than Bronny because dad allowed him to play that way. You don't have to score 25 points a game to be an effective basketball player, even though social media will have you believe that is the only way to make it. Max said it would be close because the flag rules are so different from the contact football because they gon' have to learn a new 5 versus 5 game. I don't think it's that hard, Mac. I played and I was not, once I learned how to pull flags and I learned how to juke with flags, it was an easy transition because if you still implement the skills necessary to make a tackle and you get to a point where you can shoot your hips and shoot your body to the point of contact, the same idea applies, and you shoot your hands to the hips where the flags are and you grab cloth and you look. You don't blindly grab, you look. You don't try to grab the loose flag, you grab the hip and you grab the entire shorts or whatever it is. And you'll never miss a tackle in flag. So it's something you have to train for. You can't show up off the street. I do agree with that. But if you practice and you understand that the flag's waving is a terrible way to grab a flag. Go to the hip. It's like a defensive back looking at a receiver's head to jam him. That's why you get shook when you look at someone doing this. But if you look at his waist is not going to move. His waist is going to tell you exactly where he's going. The same technique for pulling flags. I tell you, man, I was killing flag football. Fresh off of getting cut from the New Orleans Saints, I played with this team in Cyprus, and we played a couple of games at this travel flag football event. Easy work, man. Easy work. Nana Mona from Canada, how are you today, young lady? But what I seen in that video, she isn't developing bad habits with them. They may not be perfect, but they are solid. Nothing she did was wrong. There might be some newer techniques that might be better, but what she is instilling in him is I can, confidence, aggression, seriousness, work. Hey, I have no problems with it. And I think she's a realistic parent. If I don't put no time into my son, I can't expect him. I can't. I think the St. Brown, John Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown's dad, is crying out to parents that your kids aren't lazy. You're lazy. You got to get these kids in a mindset to work. And it is on the parents to get that first exposure to work ethic. If you work hard and you show your kids this what working hard looks like, they will follow suit. Now, if you're lazy, don't get nothing done, complain, toxic, guess what's going to happen? And parents, again, in that car, the things you say about other kids and other parents, you don't think that affects your kids? They remember everything you say. So if you're a complainer, if you're a victim monger, guess what your kid's going to be? If you keep pulling your kid up the travel ball team every time he's not starting, you're setting up your kid for a lot of quitting, a lot of pointing to someone else for responsible moments of teaching. So that's my moment of truth. Mental reps ties right into that. Positivity is a choice. I went to Best Buy today to try to get a transaction done. And the person that I was working with was so negative. We can't do this. You can't do that. And I was just like, well, what if we do this? And she's like, I don't know, maybe. We'll try it. Give them a call. See what happens. Of course, she calls. Of course, she sees what happens, and we get the transaction done. My choice was positivity, which kind of intermingles with my faith. Like, I believe things will work out for me because the things I'm trying to get done are not contrary to my faith and my belief. On a positive wavelength, we can get things done. I'm back in the classroom teaching, and I got students who don't believe that they can learn this software fast enough. And I'm like, you guys can do this. You can. Absolutely. Matter of fact, we're going to stop and make sure everybody can do it. And those of you that can do it, you hang tight or you help somebody that does not understand. It's a choice to be negative and toxic. I choose not to be. We're living in a country where it's very easy to get triggered, to get angry, to allow people to get inside of our shalom. I think I said this earlier in January, that I'm not going to allow anybody to mess up my shalom this year. My only resolution that I've failed was soda. I've been drinking soda. No caffeine, but I've been drinking a couple of soda pops, Rubio. I've had pineapple soda and cherry 7-Up have been my crutch. But it's been a choice, man. Positivity. It removes the stress levels that cause mental illness, that cause men to lose it, to not want to live anymore. For so long, the last couple of years, we've been preaching men's mental health. Got to get back towards that because we're living in a time where it's still very prevalent when guys are taking their own lives or having thoughts of it. When I heard Ronnie DeVoe of Belle Biv DeVoe talking about how he was going to end his life, or people like Andre Ward who are men of faith who had dark moments in their past, that goes back to negative thinking, man. Negative thinking. And we have to continue to combat that, substitute that with positive ideas and positive state of mind, man. Exactly my point. Kneecap fighting Jeremy from the Motor City. Children learn by watching on and off the field. Absolutely. Be consistent, people. Be consistent. Motor City said, my father always said, when there was a player better than me, to ask the player what he does differently from training. I told my son last week, ask a starter to take you under his wing. Tell me what I need to do to get on the field. What am I doing that's keeping me off the field? And it's coming. It's coming slowly but surely. But hey, man, when I got to Long Beach Poly Varsity, I was asking Dorian May and Stanley Alexander and Troy Jones, what do I got to do to be the best? When Chris Roscoe, rest in peace, come back to town, Chris Roscoe, man, you my idol, man. What do I need to do to be the best? Coach Don Norfolk, what do I need to do to be faster? My coach. He just let me know it's the work ethic, man. It's the pain. My father always said, when there is a player better than me, ask him. Yeah, absolutely. Or even ask to work out with him. And that's the secret at Long Beach Poly. It's the pros coming back to work out with the youngsters. When the youngsters feel that love and that it's not pressure, it's a standard. It's funny because my father-in-law is preaching about the plumb line in the Bible, and the plumb line is the standard. It's the method. It's the way. It's the way. This is how we do things, and that's what I picked up from Mark Carrier and Marquez Pope and Willie McGinnis and all them guys that come back and work out with us. Me and Omar Stoudemire and Tony Sargent and Kelly Malvo, rest in peace. We all worked out with those guys, so our standard was super high. So when we got back to camp, we played better than our friends because we had a standard that was above those we were working out with. I applied this even in the workplace. Absolutely. Somebody's doing it right. Somebody is doing it at a high level, and that's who you need to emulate. Only thing anyone control is how they react to things outside of their control. That's beautiful, man. Sometimes it's who you associate with. A lot of times, even in your growth. I told you guys when I put my son in a bigger school with bigger kids, he grew a foot and slimmed down. He went from a little chunky little fifth grader to a 6 foot seventh grader. So I know who you associate with, who you work out with. Every summer, my son works out with Coach Shavah Branch. Call him Coach Va in Vegas. Shavah Branch was a tailback at Long Beach Millikan. He played with Deion Tyler and Scott Allen and all those guys at Millikan. Had a good little run. They moved to Vegas. His sons are USC standouts, Zion Branch and Zach Branch. Zach Branch is probably the best receiver in the country, and their work ethic is crazy. And my son every summer goes back to Vegas to work out with those guys at Game Changers in Vegas because he can't find anybody out here that's getting it in. So we go to Vegas and make it a 2-week trip and get around like-minded individuals and get it in. So I'm a firm believer in that. I think that mom is doing a great job getting him individual work in, but you got to put him around some other dogs so he can get against his peers and apply what he's being taught from his mom. All right, so my sprint to the comments video. Caleb Williams. And Caleb Williams has always been kind of chunky. He's always been kind of bad body. He is now on the Tom Brady diet, TB12 diet. And they list all the foods he cannot eat. And this comes from Alex Guerrero, who used to be the personal trainer, Mr. Miyagi for Long Beach Poly Track. So I'm very familiar with Alex Guerrero. He's my guy. I actually had his number. He probably changed it by now. He's big time. He's Tom Brady's guy. But he was trying to tell us this in 91, 92. No dairy. And that's why he lost me. No dairy? I can't have cereal, cookies, and milk? This is what Caleb Williams is going to get himself into. Milk, cheese, yogurt, or ice cream. No beer, wine, or any alcoholic beverages. No bacon, sausage, deli meats, red meat should also be avoided. No deli meat? You know I'm a sandwich connoisseur. Bread, pasta, cereal, baked goods. What? Prepackaged snacks, chips, and cookies. White sugar, high fructose corn syrup, refined sugars. Cakes, pastries, candies, wheat, rye, barley, tomatoes, eggplants, peppers. It gets more. It's more to it. Beans, you can't eat beans, lentils, chickpeas, soy products. canola oil, soybean oil, refined vegetable oils, trans fats, hydrogenated oils, coffee, caffeinated tea or energy drinks, packaged fruit, juices or certain fruits, table salt, and MSG. The two have been in touch as Brady has become a close mentor for Caleb Williams. So I sprint to the comments. And I can only imagine what the comments read. Since it's Tom Brady, you know there will be a cheat day. That's a pretty good one. So what can you eat? Water and air? Can you eat hay and puddle water? It would be much easier to show what he's allowed to eat. I agree. I guess he's eating dirt and bugs like them characters on Lion King. Hakuna Matata. He's gonna have to sleep for dinner from now on. It's unrealistic, man. And I'm all for eating clean. But that was a list of everything that I like or even have access to. What can you eat? If you can't eat pasta and bread, like a piece of bread with some Nutella on it, or a piece of toast and a avocado and a tomato, like a light breakfast. That is unrealistic, man, and it doesn't sound fun at all. So I don't think that's gonna last very long, if you ask me. Or to see, I was a knucklehead and into bad things in my early 20s until I removed myself from my surroundings. I couldn't grow. That's the story of a lot of guys, man. As I'm dealing with these high school kids, and a lot of them guys are, they're buying into the street life, and you can see the way they dress, the way they carry themselves, and just not serious about school at all. And I know school is not for everybody, but we have a bunch of pathways that are trade, and they can learn a trade and get a job, and that's not their passion either. They're in a fast track to prison or death. And I just try to reach as many as I can, but sometimes the culture is not great. It's actually really bad. And if they continue to hang out with that crowd, that's what they're going to get. And then they're going to be saying, Coach Cobbs, you were right. And what can you really do? Except try, plant seeds, be consistent. That's all you really can do. Dr. Frazier said you can't cut out everything. I know you being a fanatic and you're not being realistic, man. You'll be too weak to play. Well, Tom Brady got through the last couple of years, but I'm sure he was eating something. You got to eat something. I'm dying if that's my diet. Yeah, you're sacrificing way too much. The Spencer James video, if I can find it. All right, so this guy's at it again. I don't know his name, but
was I not supposed to throw?
You can only imagine what the comments read.
Shit, was I not supposed to throw?
You be in the gym doing straight BS. You should use the machines as obstacles and run a route through the equipment.
Shit, was that?
He said, sending insane amount of hate from New York City. 4 sets of shenanigans. Yo, these comments have me crying. Somebody said, sending extreme hate from New York City. Put my fries in the bag. Where's the ball go? Where'd the ball go? Question is, who's letting him do this BS in the gym? 3 reps of hula bula failure. 10 sets of tomfoolery. Bro ain't making it middle school team. Like, what are we doing?
Was I not supposed to throw?
Pack it up, Spencer James. That's the one that got me. Pack it up, Spencer James. If you guys watch All American, that's my son's show, my wife's show. I don't want to say nothing bad about that show. They might watch this show and be mad at me. That dude needs to knock it off. He's terrible. Motor City said, Ross St. Brown has a cook at halftime every game. A cook at halftime. That's next level, man. That's my show. This is AC Sports Live. I appreciate you all for hanging out with me. Until next time, peace and blessings. School year is back, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be on every day. I'm tired. I'm blown out, but it's a good tired. So you guys be good to each other, and I'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll see the 1585 show at some point when Jimmy and Mac and I can coordinate time to be on the air. Until then, watch the Time Is Now podcast. We'll check it out on all your listening podcasts. The Collective Podcast with AC from LA and SG Trilogy. The Decade Show still on the air on YouTube and Facebook. Check out the Sub 60 Ed produced Rubio Method hosted. Rubio Methods on the air as well. YouTube, Facebook, X. Check us all out, man. I'll see you next time. I'm AC and I'm out.